Thank you. Bone moving.
We need to put him in a car so that he can lose less.
But how painful is breaking your arm really?
Hi, Houston Jones.
The human punching bag and pain enthusiast. And today on Bro Labs, I'm gonna break my arm so nobody else has to. Yep, that's a big nope. That was just an elaborate joke, a ruse, if you will. You see, even I am not crazy and dumb enough to intentionally break my arm for a YouTube video. But I did in fact break my arm in a horrible fashion. So, let's talk about it.
Fancy meeting you here, Father.
Fancy indeed. Hi, everyone. It's me, Houston Broken Bones Jones, here with Jake, cameraman, editor, jack of all trades, and all-around good guy. And today, we're going to give you a little bit of a story time, regale you, if you will, with how I broke my arm. You probably noticed I haven't posted for the last couple weeks, and that is because I broke my arm. I have been updating people on like Instagram, Twitter, the YouTube community page. So if you've seen any of those posts, maybe you have a little bit of an idea of what happened to me. But to answer the biggest question I've seen and kind of expected I would get after posting pictures of my broken arm is, how did you do it, Houston? What happened? Was this a video? Was this a stunt? And the thing is, no, it was not a stunt. Jake wasn't even there.
I was not.
He was not even there. We have zero footage of my arm snapping. Now, we do have footage of the aftermath on how I handled my arm being broken, which we will show you later. But before we do that, let me just tell you the story of how the world's strongest man, Houston Jones, snapped his arm.
Story time.
Story time. As I sit here right now talking to you guys, I've already had surgery, had 2 plates put into my arm. We'll show you how that looks later. How this happened was 2 weekends ago. Essentially, I work with a marketing agency called Golden-Duval. They help me find like all the ad deals we run on the YouTube channel. Essentially, they were coming up to my area because there's dunes by me, and they were hosting a little event. Some YouTubers were coming up, some UFC fighters, people I've done YouTube videos with in the past. A fun, good old time. Now, I and Jake, we were invited to this, but we had no content we wanted to film, so we were just gonna go hang out, have a good time. First day I was there, they're like, Houston, go out on the dunes with these side-by-sides. By the way, a side-by-side is a small motorized vehicle for off-roading. I saw some comments, people I guess didn't know what a side-by-side was.
I have a hard time explaining it to people as well.
It has 4 wheels, and it goes off-road. It's smaller. A sponsor was out there and they wanted some, B-roll type content for people having fun on the dunes and doing that kind of stuff. Woo! Doing fun. So I went out there and I was with Leviathan's filming team. Brandon Herrera was out there. He captured some of the aftermath footage. Thank you, Brandon. And in my side-by-side was B-Rad is his YouTube channel. He's basically a Michigan-based off-road dirt bike kind of YouTube channel. So he's actually skilled at driving a side-by-side, unlike me.
Poor guy.
Poor guy, yeah. So we were out there. We were probably driving around on the dunes for 10, 15 minutes. This whole time I was just a passenger with B-Rad. And he's pretty good, man. So he was doing all these cool things, fishtailing, jumping off the dune. I was like, man, this is crazy. They were taking a break and filming some stuff. And I was like, you know what, B-Rad, let me get behind the wheel.
Ooh.
Let me get behind the wheel. Now, I've driven side-by-sides a few times at this point. I think once in Utah, a little bit, another time in Kansas. So I have some experience with it. But I think I've told everyone that I know that I am not a good driver. I'm competent at driving vehicles, but it is not my forte or area of expertise.
You can't parallel park.
Can't parallel park. It's true. It's so hard. It's difficult, man.
It's the first thing they teach you.
Yeah, it's the first thing I forgot.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Anyways, yeah. So I trade seats with B-Rad. He gave me his sweet gloves. because we needed to be wearing gloves when we were out there. And I immediately thought, I have a little bit of experience behind these things. Let me figure out how to get really good at fishtailing on the dunes. Fishtailing is essentially where you kind of drift and your back tires kind of skid outwards there. I get into the side-by-side driver's seat, go into a more of a wet sand area. Beautiful fishtail. Right away. Awesome. I'm like, yeah, still got it. Still got it, baby. Start heading up a small hill on the dunes. Try to fishtail to the right. And that's when it happens. I roll the side-by-side. And as the side-by-side was rolling, I did the number one thing you're not supposed to do. And that was I stuck my left arm outside of the side-by-side as if I was going to stop it from rolling. Once we were all the way upside down, hanging upside down, I immediately knew I broke my arm. I'm pretty sure the side-by-side rolled over my arm, and I knew I immediately broke it because my bones were my hand was facing the wrong way, and I could see my, the two bones in my forearm pivoted inward toward me. Yeah. So it almost looked like I had another elbow joint or something in there. So as I was hanging upside down, all I remember is saying the F word a lot. Not because I was in a ton of pain, because I felt stupid. I also remember I was like, fuck. Sorry, you're going to have to censor that. I was like, man, I'm an idiot. I'm so stupid. My arm is broken. And this whole time I was hanging upside down by the seatbelt. No one recorded any of this because B-Rad even had a GoPro that happened to be off during this. He was riding with me, so he got the best 30-second ride of his life. By the way, I'm pretty sure it's a world record, fastest time for anyone to enter driver's seat of side-by-side to breaking arm.
That we know of.
Yeah, it was 30 seconds of driving. But yeah, I knew I broke my arm right away. Just by looking at it. They unbuckled me. I crawl out of the side-by-side because it was upside down. Immediately, I get lightheaded. I think that's, understandable considering I had my hand facing the wrong way. My arm looked like a pretzel. So I sit down and try to start processing everything that happened. And this is where people finally started recording me. So if you're squeamish, maybe skip ahead a couple minutes because you'll see my arm facing the wrong way and it doesn't look very good. But I think this is some interesting footage because I'm someone who gets hurt for a living. So you get to see how I would react to undoubtedly the most painful thing I've ever done to myself. So we'll roll that footage now and then we'll be back here to kind of talk about it.
Roll the clip.
Wireless. I have more than wireless. We're about to put out here.
Yeah, document this.
I figured you'd want
Yes,
this.
I do.
I think we're.
So I'm a f***ing idiot, and I went too fast, and I did the one thing you're not supposed to do when you roll. I stuck my arm out as if I was going to stop it from rolling, and as you can see, my arm is all squiggly. I snapped both my bones, I believe. I can feel the bones grinding when I move my arm. So the video that I was going to post today is going up late, everyone. I'm sorry. Obviously don't know when anything is going up at this point. I don't think I'll be able to type for a while, let alone don't know or do anything. At least I got functioning legs that can get hurt still, right?
The day's young.
What happened?
I just took it a little bit too fast and rolled in instinct, put my arm out, crushed it. I knew right away too, as soon as we flipped, I was like, that's broken.
You crashed here?
Yeah, right around here. Jones, yeah, that's a selling point. You should use that. I have adamantium bones, you know that?
Wow.
That's what they put in Wolverine.
Well, you're about to see them.
Yeah. Man, 10 years of lifting consistently, I think I'm about to lose some serious muscle mass.
Yeah, but you get some really good drugs and the kind that these guys won't arrest you for.
Yeah.
Just don't drive while using them.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm gonna try and set this on top, okay?
I don't know.
Oof. I burned a penis in my hand, if you want to know. The laser.
Do you know Johnny Knoxville or something? Or?
Yeah, not personally.
Oh. It just seems like something from Steve-O or Johnny Knoxville.
He's pretty much a modern day
That's
Steve.
basically what he does.
How he makes a living.
Gotcha.
That's what pays my health insurance.
Oh, there you go. 1 being not so bad, 10 being the worst pain you ever felt. How bad's your pain?
I don't know. This is a pretty close to 9 or 10 for me. Yeah. This is a pretty unbearable.
Hello. I didn't know TJ.
Yeah, I heard.
There, 2 different kids or kids on
You better at least get like 4 or 5 million views off this, or it wasn't worth it.
It'll do great. Yeah.
At least you were wearing gloves.
And
Also,
on the second
thank you for wrecking the 1 unit we said we weren't gonna wreck. So, oops, good job. You're welcome. I think after this, I'm gonna just go shoot.
This arm.
Is this gonna be on TikTok?
This is gonna be on YouTube.
On YouTube? Yeah.
Alright.
Jones? Yes. Look at it, it's famous.
I got
What's your middle name? Can you move your fingers, bud?
Oh.
Can you feel me touching you down here?
Yeah, I can feel that. But my bone moves when I move my fingers.
Alright, so what we're gonna do is you're gonna knot your arm here, you're gonna bring your shoulder and your elbow to here.
Yeah.
So move it all in one together, just like that, right up against your responsible for his wallet. Got like no room to tie this thing.
Yeah, this is very uncomfortable. I don't want the pain meds. I'll go with you.
Good idea. Ready? 1, 2, 3. To the truck. To the truck.
Alright, well, heal up, buddy. Yeah, we'll take with him. We have his ID and stuff.
So yeah, that was probably pretty gruesome. I haven't watched all the footage myself, but we included everything that we felt was relevant to this video.
It was some pretty interesting stuff. I gotta ask you what was going through your head during that time.
I gotta be honest, I thought about that a lot after everything went down, and I was like, man, I forgot a lot of the stuff I was saying out there.
I can imagine.
I was just like in this zone of like, crap, my arm's broken. I'm an idiot. So dumb. I guess I can't post my YouTube video today. The adrenaline, I think, was like a million. Like so high. Like, because initially, like I said, I didn't feel a ton of pain in the first like couple minutes. Like my arm started getting really hot and like this intense throbbing pain. Luckily, there was tons of people out there that stopped and made sure I was okay. Obviously, I was with some people that were checking up on me. And someone luckily gave me an ice pack. Just a random stranger out in the dunes gave me an ice pack.
That's
like,
nice.
this guy needs an ice pack. Look at his arm.
He could use a cold one.
Yeah, you could use a cold one. Honestly, you guys have a better idea of what I said because I don't really remember it super well. Do remember trying to make some jokes as this was happening, but we had like the park rangers come out. They tried to put me in some kind of splint. They obviously didn't have the right stuff. But I just remember like suffering out there on the dunes for about an hour or so.
Okay. I was gonna ask you how long you thought you were out there for.
Yeah, I would say at least I was out there for an hour because they got like the park rangers out there to do like check up on me initially, and then they called the ambulance EMS to come out. And, you know, all this time they're like, you know, asking questions like, you know, my name, date of birth, address, all this stuff. I think they were trying to make sure I didn't have a concussion. Luckily, I didn't hit my head at all, so that wasn't really an issue. So I was speaking pretty coherently, clearly in a terrible amount of pain, but there was moments where I kind of like turned it on for the camera, I believe. Like, especially when like Brandon Herrera, I noticed him start initially filming me. And I was like, you know, kind of just went into filming Houston. Is like, well, guys, I'm an idiot. Broke my arm. Probably won't be a video today. I just thought that was funny. I was like, man, I could still turn it on when I got to, even with a terrible injury.
Maybe that's just your body's natural reaction to
shock. Well, I'm always getting hurt and filming it and filming while in pain. So, you know, maybe it's like I'm trained at it.
Yeah, it's just a cue. It just snaps into it.
Yeah, snap in. I'm like, I'm in the zone. I'm filming now. Undoubtedly, as you saw in that footage, I was suffering. Because then, they're trying to get me to move my arm and stuff. And I was like, I don't want to move it. Then they had to, like, get me in some kind of sling situation so I could get out of there. Once EMS got there and stuff, I remember them asking me, he's like, so do you want us to give you a ride to the hospital? Or do you want someone else to do it? Because it seems like you're handling the pain pretty well. And then the gears started turning in my head. Hold on. I have health insurance, and if I'm not going to use it now, when the hell am I going to use it? I pay monthly for this stuff.
This is like the first time you used it.
First time. I find it very ironic the first time I use it isn't even for a video that we're filming on the channel.
It's better to have it than not have it.
Yeah, but so they asked me, and I and severe pain, I thought about it. I was like, oh, yeah, take me, because that way I knew I could get the pain to stop a little bit earlier because they give you drugs in the ambulance. But it was super funny. The long ride off the dunes, it was like 10 minutes, bumpy, as my arm was just shaking around. But it was hilarious because the police officer there was there with us. He watched the YouTube channel. When he asked me my name, he knew my last name before I even said it. I was like, Houston. He's like, Jones. Yeah. Yeah, and the ride there, I was talking to him about, some of the YouTube videos we did and stuff. Very nice guy. Honestly, all the EMS crew, Leviathan, everyone there that helped me, thank you very much. Super nice. But that police officer, I was like, I got to pee before I get in this ambulance. So he, walked me out into the woods, and I, peeing out in the woods with my snapped up arm in extreme pain before I got on any drugs. But loaded me up in an ambulance, gave me ketamine, I believe, 2 doses on the way there. You know how hard it is to answer questions while on ketamine?
Nope, I actually do not know.
Well, it's funny. They asked me if I ever taken ketamine. I'm like, nope. And they dosed me up, and they were asking me all these questions, like, what insurance and stuff do you have, and what's your address, Social Security? And I'm like, I think I gave them the right information. I was just stuttering through it. It's really hard to talk when on ketamine, I found out. Or say numbers, because did I already say that? I don't know. Throughout this whole experience, they kept asking me how bad the pain is, and I was just like, well, look at my I mean, considering how my arm looks, I don't see how I couldn't call this a 10 out of 10. Does it get much worse than this?
Once you break both your arms.
Yeah, break both your arms, but yeah.
Your double arm casted up here.
I was like, I know I'm kind of talking and laughing here, but this has got to be the worst pain I've ever experienced. And I get hurt for a living. I never keep saying that. It's I get hurt for a living, and this is pretty bad. So they got me to emergency, gave me some more drugs, some more morphine, cut my shirts off. They started gave me an MRI, make sure I didn't bang my head up or anything. And then they took me to go get x-rays. You know how hard it is to get x-rays when your arm is snapped?
Hold this here.
So they're like, can you move your arm and twist it in this direction? And I'm like, I'm trying. God. I'm like, nah, this is all I can do. This is all I can do. And we'll put up that x-ray now. It's a pretty good picture. As you can see, both my bones cleanly snapped through. Take me out of the x-rays to show me them. At this point, I'm kind of waiting for a little bit. Someone comes in to ask me about my insurance. I didn't have my insurance cards on me. So I'm with my bone snapped on a ton of drugs, I'm searching through my phone, bank statements to figure out who my insurance provider is. Luckily, I got that all sorted out. But essentially what needed to happen is they needed to knock me out, put me under, so the surgeon or doctor there could stretch my arm back into place because the bones were not aligned, right? He had to tug on it and then put me in a splint. And I remember right before they knocked me out, I was to the doctor, I was like, be honest with me, doc. Will I ever be able to play the piano again? And he's like, did you already play the piano? I'm like, no, I didn't. I just always wanted to ask that question.
It's funny. I didn't know that.
No, luckily they knocked me out to stretch my arm, put it in a splint. This is where it gets a little funny for me. I think during this whole experience of, breaking arm, getting to the hospital and stuff, a lot of the thoughts running through my head were ah, crap, I know this is going to put me out for a while. Because I already knew I was probably going to have to get surgery just by looking at my arm. And a lot of my thoughts were like, oh, what am I going to do for YouTube videos? And man, I feel like an idiot for doing that. You know, it's just going to mess some stuff up, some work stuff up and whatnot. But I was also thinking, well, this is going to make a funny video talking about it. Because I think it's awfully ironic for someone that for years have put himself through some of the worst, most horrific things. Never had to go to the hospital, but the moment the camera isn't rolling is when I snap my arm. So I thought all that was pretty funny. When I woke up from the surgery, I don't know what when they knocked me out to put my arm in the splint. I don't know what it was, just because I was on a ton of drugs, tired and whatnot, but I just woke up bawling my eyes out, crying like a little baby. Initially I thought Jake was with me and Mark. And I was like, I'm so sorry, guys. I'm an idiot. I was just crying. And it took me like a little bit to realize, oh, those were the nurses I was talking to and crying to. Then I kind of woke up. My mom got me on out of there and went to go get some pain meds. That's when I started was able to make some posts telling everyone what happened because, man, I was so emotional. So I'm going to apologize already for the community post I put up. I was just like, it was really in my feels in that moment. I'm like, I feel like I just let everyone down. But, you know, luckily I don't feel that way anymore. It just crap happens, obviously. However, after I got my arm put back in a splint, I had to then wait 6 days before I could get surgery.
Okay.
So I was essentially sitting around home, doing nothing but eating food and sleeping because I was on a lot of pain meds. The worst part about it, whenever I moved significantly, lay down, stand up, I could feel the bones in my arms shifting and rubbing against each other.
It's probably a unique feeling.
Yeah.
So they're just kind of free flowing in there a little
Kind
bit.
of a little bit. The splint was really tight, but I would like lay down and you could almost hear it too, like shifting in there, like the bones. And it was such an unsettling feeling, dude. It would hurt. And I wasn't doing much, but you know, I hit my elbow on a doorknob, extreme pain. Bumped my hand the wrong way, extreme pain. Obviously couldn't use my whole left arm for that whole period. But then this last Thursday, I finally was able to go in, get surgery. They ended up putting 2 plates in my arm because I broke my radius and ulna. So I got 2 metal plates in both of my arms. That was a fun experience, surgery for that. It's been a while, since I've had to do any like invasive surgery. Luckily, when I woke up that time from the anesthesia, I wasn't crying like a little baby. So that was a plus.
Well, that's good.
But what had happened is they put me on a nerve blocker.
Okay.
And I personally don't think I've ever experienced a nerve blocker. Basically, I have some bruises actually on my upper trap here. They like pumped me full of this stuff and they gave me pain medicine just to put it in. Because I think it was like these big syringes of stuff. And this nerve blocker, they're essentially made from my shoulder all the way down, dead and limp. It was like a phantom arm. I couldn't even feel it. Couldn't move it. Couldn't do anything with it. And this stuff lasts like 24 hours or maybe not that long, but it lasts a long time. So I woke up from surgery, couldn't even feel my arm. So that was nice. I was like, man, I feel great.
I got no arm.
I got no arm. Apparently the solution was just cut off my arm. Went home, obviously, that day, chilling around the house. And this is when it got really bad again. And I didn't expect it. As the nerve blocker was wearing off, slowly I started to feel like every screw screwed into my bone. And I think I got at least 12 screws in here. I could feel and it started throbbing, like on every one. Just started intense throbbing. And you know, I'm still on some more pain medication during this, constant icing. I don't think I didn't fall asleep until like 5 a.m. or something, just because I couldn't. My arm was just so in such an intense pain.
Just hurting too much.
Too much. It was like, and I remember it was like a Friday. Falling asleep about the time Mark went out to go to his job. Mm-hmm. And by the time I was waking up around 4 a.m., Mark was coming back home, and I was just sleeping on my couch because I couldn't fall asleep in bed. And I was like, man, that was a weird day. It's like I just slept throughout the whole middle of the day. But luckily, pain is a ton better now. It's been a few days since surgery. So how about real quickly, I show you how my arm is currently looking.
Ooh.
Ooh.
All right.
Alrighty. Let's take a look at my arm. As you can see to the inside here, that's where one of the plates went in. Stitches look pretty disgusting.
Oh.
It looked like, like a zombie man, Frankenstein, if you will.
That's a lot of stitches.
Uh-huh. I got another one right here to the inside. That one doesn't look as bad. As you can see, my hand is super puffy. It's like twice the size.
Yeah, it's fat.
This is about the range of motion I have with my fingers right now. I can't make a fist. This is about all I can do with my wrist. My elbow doesn't extend all the way because I'm still swollen there, but that's gotten a lot better. But check out all the bruising. Look at that. Look at all that bruising. I think that's because I've had my arm elevated, so it's been kind of going down. But yeah, pretty gnarly looking, huh?
I've seen worse.
I certainly haven't seen worse, not in person.
No, that's I didn't even actually know you had stitches on both sides. You sent me a picture and you had.
No, you know what? Yeah.
Yeah, and then saw you today. I'm like, oh, it's two-sided. All right.
Yep. Both my bones are now bionic. But when I was posting some of these pictures on social media, super funny comments were being posted there. One was like, my life's a lie. Houston has adamantium bones. How could this happen? And here's my theory. You see, I am only that invincible when the camera is on me. Mm-hmm. But when the camera is off, I return to just a highly above average male. Not the world's strongest man.
So you're like super cameraman.
Yes.
Camera guy.
The camera's on me, and that's when all the strength gets injected into me. So that's my excuse for why my bones did in fact break. But I also saw some comments about people asking what the nurses and doctors thought of, all my scars. There's a funny picture of me giving a thumbs up after I got the plates put in, and you can just see my penis hand. Let me tell you, they all noticed the penis hand. They're like, so is that what I think it is? I'm like, yeah, it's a fist. And you're like, yeah, I thought it was a penis. I'm like, yeah, it's a penis.
I tried.
Yeah, I tried. But it was funny. Like the first emergency surgeon, he watched my 1,000 paintballs video, so you knew who I was. Mm-hmm. He's like, oh, we have a local celebrity, and he's like, oh yeah, I don't try to come in often. The nurses and stuff, they were all laughing because they asked me what I did for work, and I'm like, it's like Jackass with a bodybuilder. That's what I tell most people. Used a laser to burn a penis in my hand. Funny joke, I know.
Is that my line?
Nope, it's not your line. Don't say it.
We do stupid shit so you don't have to.
Anyways.
Okay.
But no, then for my surgery, get my plates in, one of the nurses or whatever, noticed all the tire burns on my shins.
Oh, they saw it all then.
Yeah, I'm like, I had to get in a gown for that one. Yeah, I just burned my shins with a bike.
On purpose.
Yeah, but it's been funny though. It's like I've been, getting recognized as I'm in this sorry state. I remember at one doctor's appointment, someone came up to me, Houston Johns. I'm like, yep. As you can see, broke my arm. Wasn't for a video. Took a picture with some kid at a Dollar General yesterday.
I actually met a kid at after the event.
Oh.
So we went the second day, and he's like, me and my dad watch your channel. We love you.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice.
So shout out to Jake and your dad. Thanks for watching.
Yeah.
Always appreciate the support.
Yeah, seriously, that's the big thing I want to stress here. First off, thanks to everyone on Leviathan team, everyone out there at Silver Lake for helping me get off that dune and get to the emergency. Really appreciate the support. And the fact that, Brandon Herrera, awesome guy, B-Rad, the guy that was riding with me, awesome people. Really appreciate, helping me when I was out there in my time of need. Big shout out to, obviously, all the medical staff that was helping me. They were all super professional and nice people. Made sure I got fixed up all right. And then lastly, big shout out to all of you people, because I have been making posts about this, and you guys have been extremely supportive. I don't think I've ever gotten more DMs and stuff wishing me a speedy recovery and hoping everything goes well.
So when will we see you return to the big screen?
The big screen? Okay, so here's the deal. By the time you're seeing this video, I got 7 weeks before I can even start lifting weights again. So there might be the return of small Houston for a little bit.
Small Houston.
Small Houston. This is going to be the first time in like 10 years I've had to take a break from lifting weights. So I'm going to shrink down a little bit, but overall, for me, recovery of my arm is the most important thing. I want to make sure that heals up okay. In the meantime, we do have one video that we had filmed prior to the accident. A very cool video. We bought a very expensive slow-mo camera, and we were testing it out. So that will be going up the following week of this video. Make sure you turn on notifications so you don't miss it.
You don't want to miss it.
It's a really cool video.
It's pretty gruesome.
But keep in mind, this was before I broke my arm, so I have 2 functioning arms in that video. I'm sure we'll still get comments. What? How does Houston have an arm in this video? It's because I didn't watch the last video. That's how this stuff works.
Very fast at recovering.
Yeah, very fast.
Very
1
fast.
week?
1 week.
And he's back to normal, getting hit with stuff? Crazy.
The bones.
The bones, man. Yeah, that video will be following this one. And then in the following time span, as I'm recovering, we're going to explore some different ideas we've had. Probably have some more podcast style videos like this one where we're talking. So some more sit down stuff and exploring some little bit different style content. Because the last thing I want to happen is me jump into doing stunts again too early and me hurt my arm again. But don't worry. As soon as I get the clear from my doctor, we're going to be back into doing a lot of the crazy stuff that we normally do. Because I have a lot of ideas still I want to do. So cool stuff is happening. We're going to do our best to be pumping out content in this time of Houston having a broken arm. Going to make sure try our best to make sure it's entertaining. I hope you guys enjoy it as well. Oh, I'm sure people are going to want to know this. How would I rate this pain of breaking my arm after all this crazy stuff I've done?
Yeah, we did just rank all of your top stunts.
Yes,
so.
right? Just did a pain tier list. Well, I'm proud to say breaking your arm has its own tier above S tier. Double S tier.
Double S. Woo!
The most pain I've ever been in my life. The worst recovery, undoubtedly, you know.
High risk.
The risk is high. Even though it wasn't intentional.
If you recreated the injury.
Yeah. Super high risk.
Super high risk of sticking your arm.
Yeah. By far the most painful thing I've ever had the displeasure of living through.
Will we ever see you back in a side-by-side?
Maybe, possibly, as long as I'm not driving.
Okay.
I don't think I'm going to have any PTSD from the side-by-side thing. I mean, it happened so fast that the memory's only a little blink in my head. So overall, I've been feeling pretty dang good. Like I said, there was a brief moment of sadness for me because I felt like I was letting a lot of people down. But, you know, thanks to all your guys' support and all the support of all the people around me helping me out, you know, I was like, you know what? I got it pretty good, Houston, you know. I got a ton of people who will watch whatever I put out. Got awesome friends and family who are making sure I'm doing okay. Got health insurance. That's convenient, you know. Plus, I can make a video sharing this silly, dumb story. I'm excited to actually force myself into a situation where I get to experiment with different content for a little bit.
Yeah, this will be fun.
Should be fun. And I'm excited to see how I look 8 weeks from now when I'm all shriveled up and scrawny.
I don't think it'll be that bad.
So I am feeling good, and I'm optimistic for the future.
Make sure you like, subscribe, comment below. Let us know what you want to see in the next 8 weeks as we brainstorm some more content and look to push out some new interesting ideas.
Yes,
If there's anything you want us to talk about specifically.
I got all the time in the world to read comments, so
Comment this man.
please comment so I can read something. Thank you guys all for watching. Thanks for the support, and we'll see you next time.
See you then.
Can't get up that fast anymore.
Oh. You need help? Oh.
Okay.
Okay.